So here's the part where I explain why the world gets better when we get selfish. As moms of teenagers and moms of young adults, empty nest moms, the nest is empty, right? It's a new phase of life. And when we get more selfish, the world gets better and better. All right. I'm going to tell you a story. It's the story of the high level story of why we moved. We raised our sons in Pennsylvania, actually, just on the other side of the Delaware River, a stone's throw from New Jersey, which is where I grew up. But when when we started dating, I was living in Toronto. So I was in Canada and we essentially lived there for a couple of years before we got married and had our older son. Fast forward a number of years later to 10 years ago, we took both of our boys to Scotland and we had a great time in Scotland. I actually fell in love with Edinburgh in Scotland. And so forever after that, we would sort of joke around, not entirely joking, hey, wouldn't it be great to move to Scotland? Like when the boys are gone and when we can move wherever we want, wouldn't it be great to move to Scotland? And we would talk about it. But when it came down to it, when it came down to, they're in high school, this is going to be happening soon where we're able to do something, able to make that move we'd been talking about for so long, it became obvious that neither one of us really wanted to put the whole Atlantic Ocean between ourselves and our sons. And even when we talked about moving to Canada, it was like, we're going to be putting a kind of a boundary that might not be the easiest to cross between ourselves and our son. So we talked more and we decided eventually we did make a number of trips to shop for a place that we loved and shop for the vibe that we were looking for and have some good vacations in the process. But we found an area in Maine that was a wonderful vibe for us. More space, sort of like a slower pace in all the best ways. And a real sort of small town feel. So these are all things that we loved. And so we made a plan. We decided and we made a plan. We started talking to our boys, and they were very, very excited and supportive. The thing is, the rest of the family really wasn't. They didn't get it. They didn't understand why now, why like when you know the grandparents were showing the first signs of failing, the health is going a little downhill. Why now? If you haven't seen the last video, and I'll put a little plug to it, I would love for you to watch that because that's the story of my dad coming to me. After you watch that, you'll hear in more detail, but he understood why once he came here. And the other thing is that my mom and her husband have come up to visit us now 3 times. We're here less than 3 years. We're here 2.5 years. So it is called vacation land for a reason. There's an awesome vibe up here, and it's easy to kind of just let go of what doesn't really, really matter, but you think it matters because the world tells you that it matters, and relax. And so when I say selfish, when I say the world gets better when we get more selfish, it's not the damn everybody, I don't care how much I hurt anybody, kind of like toddler selfish, I want it now or I'm crying. not that kind of selfish, but it is the tuning in deeply to understand what are your deep desires and how can you take steps towards actualizing those in the world. That is what your soul is calling for. Your soul isn't calling for you to meet all the obligations that you've always been told you need to meet and meet someone else's expectations of what you should do. It's not. And the other thing I'm going to say is, what kind of example are you setting for your kids if you're following all the shoulds and you are not doing the things that you desire to do and stepping in and really going for it? What kind of example are you setting? Not that there aren't other ways for them to learn, because there are. Maybe you're going to show them what not to do. And maybe they're going to have to learn through contrast. Maybe you're going to do everything that everybody always told you you should do, and then on your on your deathbed, you'll realize, oh shit, this is what I could have done. This is what my potential was, and I didn't really get to fulfill it. I did not take steps towards that. And if those are your choices, it doesn't mean that they'll be your kids' choices. It just means that your kids may get to learn through contrast instead of through your positive example. So that was a little tough love there at the end. I do love you. I do hope that this lit a little bit of a spark in you. And I'm going to invite you to check out under the description after you like the video and potentially subscribe to my channel. I'm going to put a link to the communication guidelines that I've created for us to use to communicate in a different way with our adult children. And also, if you are interested in taking these steps towards your most fulfilling life, towards a deeper connection with yourself and your kids, then I'd love to work with you to discover and guide you on your specific path. Because in no way am I saying that people should move. No, that was my path, my deep desire, and fortunately, my husband's. But everybody has their own path, their own desires, their own truth. And as one of my amazing mentors, Jacqueline Shaw, famously says, multiple truths get to coexist. So my truth, your truth, my kids' truths, your kids' truths, they all get to coexist. No one has the truth. And the other thing is that your truth is only your truth in this moment. It gets to grow and it gets to evolve. So I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. And until we meet again, be good to yourself.